I just finished reading The Trumpet of the Swan with my son, and he really enjoyed it. We had a little bookmark that we made ourselves, a simple one from denim fabric with a bit of embroidery, and it was so nice to use. It just made reading feel a little bit more special every time we opened it and used the bookmark. So now that we've started our next book, My Side of the Mountain by Jean Craighead George, I've read this before with my older son and he loved it too. It's the story of a boy who goes off to live by himself in the woods for nearly a year. I think it's especially nice for children around 9, 10 or 11 years old. And I wanted to make a bookmark for this book as well. I have a huge stash of fabric scraps. And at first I thought about using some plain fabric and adding some embroidery, maybe a falcon or another bird. But then I found this fabric with feathers on it, which seems perfect for the story. So I've decided to use that instead. So today I'm going to make a really simple bookmark. A nice little hand sewing project. First I need to iron the fabric to remove the creases and make it easier to work with. I want the bookmark to be a long, narrow shape, so I will cut the fabric to size. I don't have any interfacing. If you do have some, ironing it onto the fabric would make the bookmark much sturdier, which is probably a good idea. But since I don't have any, you could either add a piece of cardboard inside, as I did with the previous bookmark, or just simply leave it as it is. It will be a little softer and more flexible, but I actually quite like it that way. And pressing in the edges also helps reinforce it a little and gives it a bit of extra strength. Before sewing, it helps to trim the corners slightly so they don't become too bulky. I'll open them up and cut away a small piece of fabric. That reduces the bulk and helps everything sit more neatly. If you find the center point where the fold meets, you can simply make one straight cut on each side. Then the folds come together almost like an envelope. And I'll repeat that on all 4 corners. And now I can fold everything back into place, put the 2 pieces together, and secure them before sewing. If you like, you can press everything again with the iron to keep it flat and make it easier to pin. Then I'll add a few pins to hold everything together. For the stitching, a simple running stitch works well, or you could also use a back stitch, blanket stitch, or a whip stitch like I did here. You could certainly sew this on a sewing machine and get a much neater finish and also finish it much more quickly. But I really enjoy the handmade look and I love the process of hand sewing. For me, it's not just about how the finished piece looks, although that's nice too. It's about making something with my hands and then using it in everyday life. Handmade things are simply more enjoyable to use. They make me happy every time I pick them up. Oh, and of course, this always seems to happen. The very last stitch, and the thread is so short that I can barely get it through. But I'll manage to tie a knot somehow. And we're finished. Of course, you could add more details if you wanted. You could attach a tassel, add a handmade cord, crochet a little tie, or even include some beads. There are lots of possibilities. But I think this is perfect just as it is. A simple, useful handmade bookmark. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.